On my website, it kind of explains like this is the but maybe everybody go there thinking they're going to get everything for free. So when you break off the countries into their these states into
have
their
to say. And maybe we can start getting some names together. Maybe we get some signatures together and living with people with the same ideologies. And there's nothing be honest. Now it was a party at one time. Hey, everybody, we're back. You're back with the Chooch. That's right. Ununited States of Americans, Ununited States of Americans.com podcast. It's Johnny the Chooch once again, doing his fifth show from PA, Pennsylvania out here. And things are crazy as usual. So there's a lot to talk about. The world is upside down, and that's why we're doing this podcast. One of the 8 billion podcasts that are going on, but hopefully ours is a little different. The Chooch comes up with solutions, hopefully. So we're going to talk about a couple things, what's going on in the world, but let's talk about the website. This is really based on the podcasts are based on a website that I built. It's called the UUAmericans.com, the Ununited States of Americans.com. And it's about the division in the country. As you can see, Sarah, the producer of the show, actually, Sarah, I got to do a shout out to Sarah anyway, because Sarah runs the XL network. This show is on her network, XL network, and you can get to that www, obviously, the xlhub.com. Okay. So she built this, and she's nice enough to let me do a podcast on her platform, which is really great. Thank you, Sarah. She's the one actually putting the in the background there the picture of the United States with the red and the blue, meaning that it's split. So I came up with this idea because America's trashed, and there's no turning back. Okay, no turning back. So the country split. All the elections through the past, I'm going to say up to Ronald Reagan. I think Ronald Reagan was the last guy to really blow it out of the water, and where everybody was on board as far as who they wanted the president to be. So after that, it's a 50-50 shot. Only presidents get elected by the independents voting who they can, what independents can be swayed to win the election. So that's how elections go now. So we're split, and what it's turned it into though is there's no progression of the United States. There's no progression. It's actually going backwards, morally, ethically, in all kinds of ways. It's an empire that is crumbling. It's the Titanic that is sinking. And I guess I'm like one of the rats on the Titanic that are jumping off, onto hopefully a part of the lifeboat to be saved. So this is what this podcast is. Listen, we don't favor. I am a conservative or a traditionalist. I call myself a traditionalist now, not just a conservative. I do lean that way. I do believe in the American way. God, and going in. Oh, there I am. Hi, I'm back. All right. A normalcy to life. So, but we don't, we listen to both sides, and at this point, it really doesn't matter what either side is saying. the United States is a train wreck, and there's no the policies, the rules, the laws don't matter anymore. Nobody goes by them. Either side doesn't go by them, and we're talking politically. It's a fraud pot of fraud, stealing, uh, just just ridiculous crimes within our government, deep state, whatever the case may be. It's ridiculous. So my idea was to come up with a solution, because what it is a lot of sides go back and forth. All they do is go one side, they argue one side, and the other side argues another side. And we're going to talk about that's like the media. Let's say the media on this side, the media on that side, and all they do is argue back and forth. And they claim, and they make a lot of money and a lot of sponsorship money. They get a lot of donors, and it's all that money. It's all that money. Just like how the government is a one-party government, and everybody's getting their paychecks and their cuts, regardless of who you are in our government. It's just a platform to make money and steal, commit fraud. So we know that if you're paying attention, you even have a little bit of a brain, I think. Um, we know that this goes on. So the solution is before the traditional people, or the people that are kind of hanging on to what it used to be, get swallowed up. We're going to have to do something, right? You know, the first thing is what comes to mind usually is a revolt of some nature, an apocalyptic sort of scenario where there's a revolt and the government really needs to be taken out to begin with. The government is done, needs to be demolished, sent home. So, but we don't want to do that. We're trying not to do that. So the Chooch comes up with an answer to a scenario where all the states in the country, on the continent, northern continent in America, can become their own country, just like Europe. Europe does it. Other continents have the same thing. South America, Africa, Russia did it. So we can do this. We can do this. And that's sort of my solution. And the way it would be done is through the Convention of States, which is Article 5 of the Constitution. This isn't something new. I'm not like sitting there coming here inventing the wheel on this. This has been talked about for a long time, and the Civil War was really part of it. So there's two other podcasts that are going to go on. One is going to be about the Civil War and why it happened. I'm not happy the way it turned out in a sense. And the other one is the media, which is I talked about earlier, how the media and the governments they're really one part. It's one media, and everybody's helping each other make money and cause chaos, and it's really sad. And so that's why I say we don't pick a side here. To me, everybody's right at this point. Everybody's right. Everybody has a reason why they're right. And okay, so we're right. But does that mean we have to live with each other? Does that mean that people with different ideologies have to live with each other, have to exist? I don't think we owe each other anything. We don't. We don't owe anybody anything. I mean, we come up with these laws and these rules and these policies over the years, and we try to be human, try to move forward. And all we've done is gone, not necessarily me or the people I know, but just in general, the community, the society is really, has been infected with, I mean, from what I think, immoral people thinking and just getting further away from the meaning of why we're here and God. And okay, we're going to do a podcast on God too. Believe me, we're going to get a little deep. And that's in a couple of podcasts actually. We're going to get a little deep with God, and so my answer is if President Trump could be the first president on his block to allow us to separate into different states, and that would be great. It's not that complicated, really isn't. You already have one across the pond. You go right from that. You use that. Can happen. So enough of that. That's the Convention of States. Go to the website. It explains it. uuamericans.com. Again, we're on the XL network, Sarah's network. You come here. You can check out the show. That would be great. www thexlhub.com. All right. Got that right? Sure, I did. And you can check out shows. And Sarah has other shows on there too. She has a bunch of other shows, cool shows and stuff like that. So, all right. So let's get in. I explained pretty much what I'm doing and what that the website is there and that, I'm looking to not have a revolt or a civil war. We're looking to do this amicably. Oh, I said that right. Amicably. Yeah. I didn't say I was a rocket scientist or a scholar. I'm a Chooch. I'm an Italian guy from New Jersey. It's Johnny the Chooch. How's everybody doing? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the world right now, kind of, because everything that I'm going to talk about kind of reverts back on why we should split up. Why we should split up. Okay. It's over, Johnny. America is over. Constitution, take it, rip it up. No good. No good. Rip it up. Sad to say. Its shelf life is done. Nobody goes by it. Nobody. So many different ways to supersede laws and rules that are inside. It's just ridiculous. It's too open, and I don't think the forefathers expected us to do that. I think he expected us to pretty much. He didn't think we were going to pick it apart and call it a living, breathing document. I don't. I think they pretty much set the tone on how things were supposed to be. But one side of the people in this country have used it to pretty much trash out the country and ruin it. So done. Rules, and that's why you need to have your own state, your own country. Actually, you can write your own, start from scratch, your own rules, your own constitutions. You can do whatever you want. Throw this one out. Make Washington a museum. Set everything up, the statues. It'll be a great tourist attraction someday. But we're way past that. It's over. So what we're going to talk about is where we're going to talk a little bit about today is regulation. Okay, regulation. Because why am I going to talk about regulation? Because there's no capitalism anymore. There's no capitalism anymore. Capitalism is over. Everybody talks about, American capitalism. There's no capitalism. It's all just big business. And what do I mean by that? Okay, your cell phone, your car, food. It's there used to be capitalism where there was a way somebody would come in, undercut a product where people would buy it at a lesser price, and companies would fight over people, and they would find a way to make things cheaper, and then it would be cheaper, and then you would buy that one. And so, but what happened is it's done. Okay, so all the people that make products, all the big corporations, all the entities got together one day and go, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why am I going to charge less than you? And I got to revamp my company. I got to charge us. Why don't we all sit around a table? Why don't we all come up with a number of what we're going to charge? All right? They'll go to you. They'll go to you. And how we win people over is by what we give within that price range. But nobody's really coming up with deals anymore. It's too many people. You don't have to come up with deals anymore. It's too many people. There's enough people to go around today and enough money, especially in this country, to go around to buy whatever you need, right? So there isn't a fight for the lower price anymore. Actually, what they're doing now is they keep upping the price, and everybody keeps upping the price, and they keep so they're all going along with each other. They keep running. So capitalism. So that is we're going to talk about gas. Gas is one of them, of course. Food. So let's talk about gas a little bit. What's going on? So my thing of it is I even thought this as a younger guy. Regulations are good. There are things that need to be regulated. Just like we're partly a social, social. We have socialism in America. We're a socialistic society. We give welfare out. We give Medicaid. We're a socialist country. Okay, so we need to regulate a little bit. We need to regulate, and we need to regulate the basics, the necessities. Gas, certain foods. Uh, of course, can't interest rates. You can't help at certain points, I guess. Cars, things of that nature. That people need every day. Your Wi-Fi. We need that every day. Phones. There are certain things that have to be regulated. Because utilities in Pennsylvania, they're ridiculous. I was just talking about that today with somebody about regulating the electric, and it's ridiculous that they allow these companies in this country to just keep doing this when there's energy all over the place. So has to be regulated. But why aren't they going to regulate it? Because then the people in these in these entities that we're talking about don't make any money, don't make as much money. They don't make as much money, right? So they're regulation. No, it's capitalism. But on the other hand, nobody's coming in lower. So they want their cake and eat it too. Don't regulate anything. And by the way, we're all going to sit around the table around the milk barn, right? We're all going to go to the milk barn and sit around the table, and all the milk industries are going to say, "Yeah, let's do $3. Let's do $3." And everybody goes, "Yeah, let's do $3." Right? So they're not helping. So it's called greed. It's called greed, and and why we need regulations is because of the lack of morals and ethics, and the lack of humanity that has occurred in the world. Forget just this country, in the world. I mean, people look at death like it's nothing anymore. Death, people starving, people want to kill people. Let's murder this guy. Let's murder that. I mean, it's brutal. So you can't have your cake and eat it too in life. And this is what is going on as far as the businesses and the corporations in this country, especially in this country, because it's the richest country in the world. And the regulations will tamper down the pricing from these countries. We'll take milk. We say everybody needs milk. Everything's done with milk or eggs, right? This is what it's going to be. You can sell this in this country, even if you break it up into different areas as far as the financial status of people. You can make it, but it has to be regulated, and that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be like that for a certain amount of time. And what it is, it's going to go regulated based on people's incomes, people per household. There's an equation. Take this equation, you figure out what a fair price for these, and it stays like that for a long time. For a long time. So, cars. Hey, listen, I always said the way you can solve bringing down prices is, and the people aren't going to like this, but this is what this show is about. Government can make cars. You can make government cars. You can make 4 types of cars: a small, a medium, a van, and a truck. Make 4 types of cars. So make them dirt cheap. Let people pay those. Let the government have service, stations where you can fix them and take care of them for very, very, very low prices. You can do it. But they were scared because everybody in the car company, the car business go, well, what are you doing? Well, no, we can't pay 30, 40, 50,000 for new cars anymore. And then you got to take them and get them fixed. And you got to get insurance. No. Why doesn't the government set the tone? The government has to regulate. Should be the regulators. If they have to make the milk and set the regulate, anybody else they can sell for whatever they want. Cell phones. Let's have a federal government cell phone. Let's do it. They control the towers. We're in control of the towers. Verizon can still do theirs. AT&T, you can still charge whatever you want and offer whatever you want. But a basic cell phone, because you're asking people to live through Wi-Fi and through cell phones. Wi-Fi regulated, federal government Wi-Fi. Maybe the data might not be as much, or maybe they can put something in there of the nature, but enough to get by where you can operate your household based on low income Wi-Fi, let's say. Then the rest of the Wi-Fi companies, charge it up. You want to charge whatever you want for whatever data amount you want. Okay. But the only way we're going to do this is regulate. The government can do this. They can regulate things. Okay. Oil. All right. Let's talk about Iran. Right now, this is, I didn't even say the date. What's the date? The 26th. It's March 26th of 2026. We've been bombing Iran for the last, 2 weeks or whatever, which is good. Iran to me is a devil country, horrible people. At least that regime. Maybe not to be with the regime. It's horrible, and it was about time somebody did something about it. Thank God. But now we talked about the oil. So why isn't oil regulated to begin with? Why not? Why can't you tell the oil companies, the gas companies, you can sell a gallon of gas in America for $2.50 a gallon? Again, you can do it by areas of the country where finances and economics are different. All right, that's fine, but regulate it, and it stays like that for a year. Whatever the case may be, 2 years, regulate it. Sure. But you know why they don't do it? Because the oil companies are going to complain. They're not making their money. They can't buy their yacht. They can't buy their kids' yachts. They can't take their wife, all over the world or whatever. Yeah. So there you go. So that's the problem. It's called greed. They can do it. We can do it. Because who's not going to sell here even regulated? Who's not going to sell their product in America even regulated? It's all the money's here. But even Trump's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's a rich guy. All his buddies are rich, and we're talking about oil. So let's go a little bit into this. The Strait of Hormuz, whatever it is, gives out 5% of the oil in the world or something. You know what I said? Do you know the number I just said? 5%. And all of a sudden, all the gas prices and the barrel of gas went up, prices went up, everything went up because 5% of the oil in the world comes from there. Does that make sense to you? Now, what else doesn't make sense is that we were told that we were going to drill here in America, which we have plenty of natural resources. We just took over Venezuela. We're getting the oil from there. And we're going to get the oil from Iran, right? Taking over the island. Isn't it Carb Island, or whatever it is? He's taking over the island. Okay? What's the problem? Why is gas going up? Because it's greed. And even the president is in on it. Listen to me, he's in on it. He's in on it. He's in on it with all his buddies. He's getting his piece. And, it just doesn't make sense. Oh, well, gas prices are going to come down. They shouldn't even have been up because of the things I just mentioned. But that just goes to show you that it's always been about money. I think Reagan was the last guy that I think really, truly, took probably a little bit of a cut took a little slice, but I think he was really the true last guy that was like trying to do the right thing. Bush Senior after that wrecked everything. He brought it up to here, and I don't even think, I mean, we're doing better with this administration in the sense of, we are security and things like that. We are. I got to give it that. I got to give it that. But the economics of it, it's the same because you know what, rich people aren't going to regulate. They're just going to keep taking and taking. So why can they do this? Because the government is so big and there's so many people got their hands in the pot and there's so many people getting their checks that they're never going to stop this. So the only way to stop things and is to break it down. Break it back. What you're talking about, letting states be their own countries. Let people break off and be their own, and they they can govern themselves in smaller, you know, geographical areas. Rather than trying to keep 362 million people, on track. It just isn't. It just isn't going to happen. It's not going to happen anymore because the morals, the ethics, the thinking is gone. It's gone. So, and this part of this oil thing, which I'm bringing up, is part of what I'm saying about being gone. This should have been, what do they say? Slam dunk. You took over. You beat one of the worst, not one, probably the worst regimes on the planet, with the most oil on the face of the planet, next to probably Venezuela, who you already beat. And you're telling me that gas prices are up. You're not selling me on this one, So it's about greed, and we started this about regulation. If things were just regulated to begin with, but we would be fine if we regulated throughout the country necessities that people need. We would be fine, and it can be done. It's just that it doesn't want to be done, and that's every politician and every part of this government. And this needs to be, this country, America, whatever, needs to start over. 250 years, we made it. We made it. Great job. Real young though, by the way. 250 years, and we fucked everything up in 250 years. Not we, but people, messed it all up. 250 years. So didn't take that long. A couple of grandparents, great grandparents, maybe, or great grandparents. Like what, 4 generations? We wrecked it already. Wow, wonderful. So, where it goes back to the website is what we always talk about, regulations. If you have a country within this continent and we let people break up and they go into their own continent, they can do their own regulations. They can make their own stuff. They can regulate. They can trade how they want, and they can take care of their people the way they want. I'm hoping that people would break off into a country or territory that they call their own, and they would live by how I would like to live, sort of a traditional life. I think it works. Real quick, we got a couple minutes left. What's going on? What I fear is going on is that we are giving away so much and enabling so many people. Okay, with 42 million Americans on SNAP benefits, that what we're doing is this government is for votes and because they want to stay in power to collect the money from the taxpayers and through kickbacks and lobbyists and everything of that nature, is that you're going to create so many people. Half the people already agree to this. They don't like the way it is now. They agree to the other side about welfare and giving away things. So what happens when it's easy. It's an easy fix. It's an easy way to get people's votes. because you're going to keep telling the generation, next generation, that they're going to get everything for free. And before you know it, you have this many people working and trying to pay for this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get swallowed up. You're going to get swallowed up. Yep. God can't help you. Prayers can't help you. Policies. You're going to get swallowed up by all the people that don't want to do nothing, that were promised that they were going to get everything for free, by these people that run the country. And Venezuela is a perfect example, right? Right? They got swallowed up. People got swallowed up. Couldn't afford it anymore. No jobs, no money. So we're heading that way. I'm doing this podcast basically to let everybody know I'm ahead of the curve. I'm ahead of the curve. I know it's coming. I mean, what you can do is speak your mind and try to get people to get involved and realize that, things are that bad, and they're going to get bad. This is going to get bad. So he has to do something. This is why I do this, try to promote it as many places as I can. Hopefully people will get on board. We can get a petition a little bit, get some movement and stop trying to hold everybody together and fix things. No, start breaking it up. That's what's going to fix it. All right. It's almost time to go. I got maybe I'll do one more minute. Regulations. We talked about regulations tonight. The government should be the regulator. That's the bottom line of this. The government should be the regulator. And then anybody up above the government that's doing things of that nature can charge whatever they want. But the government, on necessities, at least on necessities, I'm not talking about, a pack of gum. I'm talking about necessities. Okay. They need to be the regulator. Okay. And it'll work. Believe me, it'll work. It's just that they don't want it to work because they're scared. But again, if you do it in a separate country within this continent, it could work. So that's that. I just want to go say, the XL network, Sarah put it together. That's the XL, what is that, Sarah? The XLHub.com, the XLHub.com on the XL network. You can see this show. You can see a lot of her shows. Everything's really cool. This is Johnny the Chooch. We talked about regulations. We're going to get into some different subjects next time we're on. And I hope you enjoyed this. And hey, hang in there, guys. We're going to do this.